are y'all doing? This is Chastity. I'll make this quick because Bear is not with me. He is still at Texas A&M. So the last time I made a video, I was on the way from dropping him off. And sorry if it's shaking. I don't have the holder. I don't know where it is. So sorry. But anyway, so the last time I was dropping him off and he was supposed to have surgery on that day. It was Tuesday the 21st when he was dropped off, but it got delayed because it got booked kind of quickly while we were there. And then he had a skin rash because now that I live downstairs, I transferred downstairs, if y'all don't know, and I have plants on my porch and I have a turtle on my porch. And when I go to feed my turtle and water the plants, the mosquitoes are coming in. They weren't sure if it was that, but I feel like that's what it was because he had bumps all over. I don't know. It could be reaction to medicines that he was taking. He was taking 3 medicines from the first vet. And, they thought it was a skin infection. So I really just don't know. But my son is getting bit. I'm not getting bit. I read somewhere mosquitoes just are attracted to certain blood types, and some years some people may not get bit, which I am not getting bit, and the mosquitoes are in the house. But anyways, because of that issue, the bumps all over Bear, they said he had just they called it an infection, but I really don't know. They put him on antibiotics, so he could not have the surgery until the bumps started going away. He started healing, which by the next day, Wednesday, there was a drastic improvement. So they felt like by Friday they could perform the surgery. So by Friday, he did have the surgery. He had a few of the bumps left, but it was like almost gone. So they were still concerned, but they felt like, okay, well, it's safe enough to go ahead and do the surgery. Because the thing was, when they first viewed him, the day they thought they were having surgery, they realized it was a lot of the bumps were on the surgery site. And what else was I going to say? The day before I took him, I saw one. But Bear's hairy. He's a Shih Tzu. They have long hair. They have hair. They don't have fur. They have hair. And I saw one bump, and I was like, what is this? So I didn't think nothing of it because I personally only saw one. I was going through cutting out all the naps that he has. He has he was matted, tangled, but he gets very stressed when he's groomed or combed. So because of his condition, I just let him alone. And I'm glad I did because when I talk about the surgery. But anyway, so moving on from that, I just didn't see that. I just saw the urine burn that he had, which I was trying to treat, but it was hard because Bear was trickling pee. He did poop on his arm, he did pee on his arm, but he was also trickling pee because he was injured, and which was causing the urine burn. So that's why he was getting the baths day and night, and it wasn't really being effective because he was trickling pee. So they shaved Bear from the waist down. So they call him Pooh Bear now. They love him there. The student that calls me, she told me they love to hold Bear and they be passing him around because he's just such a sweet dog. Y'all see Bear playing and being silly on videos, but he is a cuddle pup. He just loves to play with his brother, my son. But anyways, so like I said, I was gonna make this short and it's 4 minutes. Okay, so when when they discovered that issue, he had to wait till Friday to have the surgery. Mind you, Bear was dealing with the issue for 2 weeks since he had previously seen the vet. We left that vet. We were trying to find somewhere to take him, which was that took about 2, no more than 3 days. It wasn't too long where we finally found where we could take him. But he could not be scheduled for like a week out, a little over a week out. So he sat like he was for 2 weeks. I mean, it was nothing we could do. They sent the referral. We waited for scheduling. It is what it is. But what happened This is not, I'm going to compare it to this. This is not what happened. It's just, if I compare it to this, it'll help you understand. So the mineralized deposit that Bear had on his disc mineralized and ruptured. There's in between your spine, in between your vertebrae, you have these discs, these little cushion discs. If you ever seen a fake skeleton, you see these clear pieces in between the vertebrae. Those are discs. They're gel-like. His mineralized and turned hard, kind of like calcified. Just think of a rock. Okay, so it ruptured and it was pushing on his spine. What happened was it was sitting on his spine for 2 weeks, about 2 weeks, maybe a little longer or less, whatever. So it started sticking to the spine. Cut. So just think of, if you get a cut, you have a scab over your cut, and it grosses me out. You know how people pick off a scab? So it was kind of that concept of the fact, just think of the idea of them having to pick the mineralized deposit off the spine. That's where I'm going with it. So, they had to do, the surgery took longer than expected because they had to be very careful, because what they did initially, remove the bone to get to the spine, of course, because the spine is in the middle of the vertebrae. So when they got there, they had to be very careful to make sure they wasn't, what they were doing when they was manipulating the material to get it off. They were trying to make sure they didn't move the spine, because it caught your spine, our spine, and anybody's animal spines. A spinal cord is very, very delicate. So as a result, it was a 50-50 chance that Bear could walk afterwards. And then what happens is, after surgery, he came out of surgery, he was fine. I was nervous all day, going crazy. Oh, that is just difficult when your pup is 2 hours away. You can't go check on him. You only can wait on phone calls. But he came out of surgery. He was fine. He was groggy. He was in the ICU just because, they just put him there for the night. There wasn't any serious issues. But he was in ICU for the night. And what they told me was Bear was having movement in his legs and he was wagging his tail. So that's a good indicator that Bear will be able to walk. He's not on the spectrum of that 50% that there's no movement. It's the, the quality of life has been diminished. He's on the spectrum where he's moving, he's wagging his tail. Today they called me and said he's out of the surgery. The anesthesia is out of his system, so he's happy and moving around. But they keep him caged because he's in a transient period, as they call it. When this happens, what I explained, his surgery was a little different from the norm of that type of surgery because the deposit was sticking to the spine. So there's this transient period where they kind of decline. It's a short period, and then he starts picking back up. Because it's kind of like, I guess the spinal cord is stressed because they were constantly having to pick the material off. So there's this transient period where it's a short recovery period from that episode. And then, of course, it takes him about a month to heal from the whole surgery period. So, this morning they called. He's fine, wagging his tail, moving his legs, walking just a little. He's not moving much, but he's heading in the right direction. So, if y'all are praying for Bear, continue to pray for Bear. If you want to do the GoFundMe, continue to do the GoFundMe, because his surgery is not paid for all the way, but that's up to you. But yeah, so that's the update on Bear. I probably won't do any more until he gets picked up. He's going to be picked up by Monday or by Tuesday, which is good because y'all know this ice storm is coming through, so that helps. And my daughter is picking him up, and she'll keep him for 2 weeks until I finish my certification I'm doing, and then I'll take over. I'll take over with Bear because she's in school as well. But Oh, excuse me. My course runs only 3 weeks, so it moves really fast. So she offered to help. But anyways, that's it. I am tired. I have been studying all day. I have a midterm Tuesday. It's Saturday, and I literally spent the whole day studying. Took a brief pause to go to Walmart to get a few more things in case something happens. But thank y'all for listening. And like I said, I'll update y'all probably Tuesday. I'm gonna see if my daughter can film. All right, talk to you later. Bye.